So me and 1090, it's a battle going on.
Yeah, okay. So explain this to me, because let me just break this down. 1090 Jake makes a whole video in which he basically says that there's a newspaper article from the late 60s that says that Larry Hoover told the cops who shot him after him and a couple other people got sprayed up on the block in, keep in mind, the late 70s. So like over 50 years ago.
1968.
1090 Jake makes the video. He doesn't interject any of his own opinion aside from this is what it said in the newspaper. And then you very quickly have the King Yellows of the world, anybody who has room in their heart for Larry Hoover.
Fight 1090.
And they're mad as hell. But you tell me, how is this fake? What's the debunking?
Well, no. Okay, so I debunked him because I didn't know what was going on. I go to Clubhouse, and they telling me, have you seen the whatever? They play the 1090 thing.
And when people say we need it in black and white, which is what they always say about snitching, that doesn't include a newspaper article.
Hold on. So
that's not black and white.
We get to that. So when they read it, I said, where's it coming from? Court document, newspaper. So actually, he was responding to me. I think I kicked it off. It was a newspaper. So I said, like, listen, I can't stamp me on a newspaper. We didn't watch the mob manipulate newspaper and make it say whatever they wanted to say. If all you got is a newspaper, boom. 1090 hears that, runs his content. Had a great clip. Very convincing clip. But 1090 went even further, and he called him the rat. He said it.
Okay.
So now I respond. I get the shooter who shot Larry Hoover. I interview him. He says Larry didn't give a statement on him. This was wrong in the newspaper. He was never from this gang. He was from another gang.
But then it's revealed that that guy also told.
So at the time, he sounded very convincing to me.
Okay.
The shooter. So I got him on the phone and another high-ranking member on the phone and one of my comrades from the West Coast on the phone. So, you know, I put it up. It's up on the Hunter Show on our YouTube channel. 2 days later, the exposers, you know, they just running their shit. They say, Wack, you think you should have this? So I look at it. I'm like, oh, this ain't good. So I do some bitch-ass nigga shit.
Shockingly.
I totally ignore it.
Really? Doesn't sound like you.
But I don't, not only do I ignore it, they say, do you want us to go dig up that paperwork on Larry Hoover from the courts? I tell my team, no, leave it where it's at. That's what I tell them. 5 hours later, I get a text from 1090. Guess what it is?
The paperwork.
The paperwork. So now I know he knows. So now I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days goes by, right? So now it's kind of like you and Vlad going at it about the subject, and you know what he should do, but he's not doing it, and you're wondering why. So I'm like, why didn't 1090 shoot at me to debunk the shooter's interview with me, right? And I'm thinking about it. I get a phone call a day later. Paralegal team. Hey, Wack, what up? 1090 contacted us. What you mean? Yeah, to go try to find the paperwork.
On the other guy?
No.
The shooter?
No, the real court document on 1968.
Okay.
I said, okay, how'd that go? He said, well, it's available. We located it. He's paid for it, and it'll be to him. So now I know why he didn't expose the shooter's proffer. Because he could have said, Wack, this dude right here snitched in 1992. He proffered, and they know that, and they're squeezing him and making him tell you this story. He could have used that. I would have doubled back and said, well, that's hearsay. That's your assumption. Whatever he proffered on has nothing to do with Larry Hoover. 1090 knows he's dealing with a shark like I know I'm dealing with a shark. He's waiting to get that paperwork.
I sharded the other day.
If he gets that paperwork, right, and it's not good, he's going to expose that, and then he'll expose the shooter. Now, what 1090 standing on is this. He went and found it on another newspaper, the Chicago Tribune. And he's saying, Wack, ain't no way the Chicago Tribune gonna release this, another paper gonna release this. There's no lawsuit in for slander or defamation against him for releasing this. This with 1090 coming. I'm like, yeah, bro, but it still ain't court docs. So if he get the court docs and it's in favor, I don't know what his move is. He gonna have some problems because he called him a rat. That works for me because I'm defending him against 1090. But
you already know that he's guilty. You're just defending him for the sake of the clout?
I don't know.
Oh,
because
at this time.
all they got is newspaper.
Okay.
But, and this is what's crazy, because I got attacked the other day by some people on Clubhouse. I said, yo, if the paperwork come back and is not in his favor, then what? And they said, well, people shouldn't even be talking about it. Nobody can give an honest answer. So I'm like this. People, don't get mad at me. I'm just following the ways of the world. I think that it's so much selective politicking going on. If the right or wrong person rats, whoever they may be, they sweeping it up under the rug. 1090's whole disposition is this. They saying, well, this was 55, 57 years ago. 1090's whole disposition is this. You're right. And what I'm saying, for the last 50-something years, y'all been following behind a dude that's in violation. How many people, if this is true, I'm not saying it is, we ain't got to work yet. How many people had to be held accountable for telling by this same individual when they found out? Now, R&B was like, it's been 50-something years, he's old. I feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him.
You got to take that out of your game. If you want to be an exposer,
I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't feel sorry.
Can't feel bad for the elderly.
There's some people that told in 1968 who never got a chance to live to see 1969. I can't feel sorry for somebody who got away with 57 years of manipulation and wrong. If that's it, I hope that Mr. Hoover didn't tell, right? You know, they got mad at me because they asked me did I consider Larry Hoover a hero, and I told them no, because I really don't know what he did to be a hero.
Right.
So they asked me a few people that I thought was hero, and I was like, Jesse Owens, Harriet Tubman, you know, Martin, you know,
Ginley,
Malcolm, you know what I'm saying? So that's just me, you know, but, you know, once again, I'm in the middle of it. 1090 got me over here on my toes because either I was manipulated by the shooter or he jumped the gun and called Larry Hoover a rat before having the right documents. I will tell you this. I did some bitch ass nigga shit. I didn't pursue ordering the documents. I'ma keep it real. If he did, I didn't want to know. But now they threw me in it. Chicago threw me in it. Chicago called me and said, we want you to do this interview.
Who is Chicago?
The number 2.
People from Chicago.
The number 2 of that organization.
The number 2 GD.
And the shooter.
King Yella.
He ain't no damn number 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And the shooter.
Okay.
They talking on the interview, like, so they want me to get it out. So it's like, I'm hoping Mr. James Highsmith, I believe that's his name, was truthful. Yeah, he got a problem from 1992, but that don't mean he's lying about that. But it could mean they could have took that and used it to make him dance. I don't know. Me personally, I would sit back and take my victory with my interview with Mr. James Highsmith and let it be. 1090 ain't letting it go. You know him better than me. He's not letting it go.
Well, the interesting thing about that to me is that so many times 1090 has mentioned to me the fact that he really doesn't want to base his whole life and career around the exposing snitches thing, which you obviously have no problem with. But if you actually look at 1090's like last year of YouTube videos, he has really taken a step back on that. And I think it makes sense from his perspective because it basically creates tons of enemies for him constantly. It's like just every time he exposes somebody, that's just like a big chunk chunk of the world that hates him. So he doesn't necessarily see a reason why he should continue to make that his whole identity.
You know why he was trying to adjust? The difference between me and 1090 is this. I talk about and cover everything. It could be whatever. Diddy, Michael Jordan, this dude did this, whatever, right? 1090 was just doing the exposing the rats. But it's a lot of rats out there, but it's not too many rats that the world cares about, want to hear about.
Yeah.
You have to be exposing somebody that people know who you're exposing. What happens is you start to run out of those people. So you start to run out of content. See, with me, I don't got to know about a rat. We can talk about what happened to this dude over here, this dude over here. Do I think Cardi's going to have a hit or whatever? With him, he's in the box with it.
But he makes videos about other things. This is usually based on like violence, crazy gang shit, etc. Like if we look at his channel, it's tons of shit that doesn't involve snitching. It's just drama in the hood, rappers killing each other, whatever.
Yeah, but he got to do that.
Right.
Instead of
that's his general beat.
He got to do that. So, and look, man, 1090 runs great content. His editing is cool. He's funny to me. You know, his punchlines. It is what it is. So I think it's going to be a 1090 Wack 100 face-off. So this what has happened. He told me.
I'll fly him out. Let's do it.
He told me if he get the paperwork,
ooh,
I got to face off with him.
So still after all this.
I got one more spin move.
But we still don't have the paperwork after all this.
He ordered it.
Oh, okay.
I debunked him with the newspaper. We ain't going with that. He ordered the paperwork. 1090 ordered the paperwork. He sent me, he's taught me and sent me a voice message, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, white dude.
I thought you guys were like beefing. Now it seems like it's kind of like sportsman-like.
No, this is f***ing with me. This is.
But you're not like mad, want to throw a safe at his head, right?
I expect him to do this because I debunked him by going to get the shooter. He wasn't expecting that. To say Larry didn't tell.
This is like a gentlemanly like competition to see who could be the best exposer.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a GD. He's not a GD. I ain't from Chicago. He ain't from Chicago.
Right.
But the fact that he heard me speak on it, he went to digging on it, and he went and found another newspaper.
But this is like the funniest shit. It's like my introduction to this, like aside from the 1090 video, I watched a video of King Yella spazzing on 1090, and his arguments against 1090 were, number one, how dare you say anything negative about Larry Hoover, which is not even a real argument because what the fuck is that? Like, he's a man, he's not a god, who cares? So if he did something wrong, it should be discussed and Bro, have content made about it, right?
They think he's a guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's just pathetic.
I asked him, I said, yo, he went to jail at 23, 24, okay? His rise from 73 to the late 90s, we know wasn't no Gandhi or Martin Luther King type rise because that's when he caught the RICO investigation and caught the 6 life sentences to go to the feds.
Right.
So we know whatever he was doing in that time span probably wasn't a good thing in the eyes of the law or the community.
But then the other argument that Yella was using against 1090 is basically like, you're a white boy and you just want to drum up beef between black people.
That's why you want to address
the two dumbest
That's what they say
arguments.
About your white ass.
These are so stupid. Like
that's dumb.
What are we even talking about?
Yeah,
These are the two dumbest arguments I could possibly imagine. So
indeed,
all I have to say is,
I'm talking to you.
Larry Hoover deserves to be analyzed and judged just like everybody else. The only good argument, or at least argument that could possibly work, is in the late 60s.
Yeah.
And you tell me it was possible since you were alive back then. In the late 60s, were there different standards of snitching? Because let's be real, the world was very different 60 years ago in a ton of ways. Probably a lot of those ways are not things that we are necessarily aware of because none of us were alive during that time period.
Let me tell you what debunks that.
Okay.
The Black Panthers were taken down because internally they had a what? Snitch.
Okay.
Snitching has been snitching. Your op come shoot you and you identify who they are. That's what that is.
But this is an idea that it still seems like some people struggle with, is the idea that even if someone goes out of their way to hurt you, like, yes, of course, if me and you are friends and we go rob a bank together and I tell on you, then I've done something wrong. But to a lot of people, it's hard to wrap their head around the idea that if someone comes and tries to kill you, you're also still not allowed to snitch on that person.
I'm not.
That, for a lot of people, that's tough.
I got it. Cuban Rob right there, they'll tell you. Homies done told him. Wack and took cases. Because I know I got the money to pay a legal beagle. I don't need you in there stressed out talking about, let's take this. So I didn't send cats home from the substation. I'd have been hit with bodies that wasn't mine. I was in there for attempted murder and then got hit with another murder while I'm in there for attempted murder. Four people get arrested on the street while I'm already fighting the attempt. They see I'm the juvenile. All of them go to the county jail. So you know what they do? They take them, book them, release them, come to Silmar, pull me down and say, look, you know these people? I'm looking at them, all homies. Well, they got booked this morning on the murder and they're out. You know why? Because they all said you did it. This murder, boom, 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 boom. What you got to say with it? You send me back to my cell. I fought that. This is why Red Bull loved me the way he do. Because they all knew I didn't do it. I wasn't even there. But I wrote it, beat it, right? So what I'm saying is, we ain't created these rules. Now the rules have changed. I'm just simply saying maybe everybody needs to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, there's an expiration date to snitching. If you can get away with it for 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, 8 months, 3 hours and 2 days, maybe the snitching ain't used against you. Maybe this would, or maybe we just need to just do away with snitching and all. I don't give a damn. I ain't doing nothing. My team is legal and shit. That's just what it is, because I'm gonna be real. The snitches, when they tell, they come back richer than they was before. They get famous.
Very few examples of this.
Listen, the more high profile snitch you are, the more something's supposed to happen to you.
We were just having this conversation about Max B.
The Bull is on the podcast.
If Max B did not, okay, he comes from a different world, and people are fascinated by him outside of his usual circle or whatever. But
I don't know.
We just had this conversation about Max B. I mean, Max B was going to have a hero's welcome. If what you're saying is true, Max B's return will be almost entarily destroyed.
Well, he sent the paperwork.
It will be nonstop. He will be a laughing stock. He will be a joke. People will spare no expense to absolutely shit down his throat.
I'm gonna be real with you.
That's just how this goes.
I'm telling you what his brother telling me, right?
Right. And
I'm still up in the air on when the paperwork comes, what I'm gonna do with it, because it's still a roadblock there for me.
What is the roadblock?
One of my comrades that's very close to him, and I'm gonna have to have that conversation with him. And I'm not gonna lie to you. If and when I had that conversation with him, he's from New York, very known rapper. When I had that conversation with him, and he tells me, Wack, could you not expose that paperwork? There's probably a good chance I'm not going to expose it.
See, you and 1090 are both compromised. You actually have that in common as well, because 1090 told me, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he told me that he has information about a rapper. He made the video, and he was reached out to by the absolute top upper echelon of hip hop saying, can you please not put that video out? And he abided by that.
Well, mine is just because it's a brotherhood with me and the individual. And my respect for him.
You need to be more principled.
No, my respect.
If you really believe that snitching is wrong, you need to actually be willing to destroy your relationships.
My respect for him is greater than my distaste for this dude. I don't really know him, right? I don't give a about him. If I ever seen him, it ain't finna be no what I don't know. I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, you know, I know what's happening with you. Either he gonna respect that or respond to that. But if I get the paperwork in hand and I read this work, unlike most situations where it's going up, I'm gonna call my brother that's from over there, and I'm gonna be like, bro, this is what it is. I'm telling you, I'm looking at it. When I tell him that, either he gonna tell me, Wack, shit, send it to me. Or he gonna be like, bro, could you leave that alone? And then at that point, you know, it's a lot of people I'm close to, bro, that if they ask me to leave something alone, I'll leave it alone. The Larry Hoover stuff, bro, I haven't put my team on going to find the work. I haven't.
And do you even know any GDs? You even like tapped in with anybody associated with that?
Yeah,
okay.
I know them. But a lot of the youngsters,
they don't give a
they don't give a. Have you ever asked them about, dude? They say some crazy shit.
I don't even have to ask. I already know that.
Yeah, they'd be like, what? We don't give, like, they don't care about none of that. What they stand for and representing ain't got nothing to do with.
I mean, you're talking about somebody who's like 80 years old. Even like I keep referencing King Yellow, but if he's 35 or whatever, I mean,
Yellow don't know him.
He don't know him. That's like his time on the streets was completely different than
you know. I asked him the other day, you know, what did he? Because they said they considered him a hero, and I was asking, like, out of curiosity, well, what did he do to be considered a hero?
Yeah.
One dude said, well, he was, you know, he came up with the format of the boys clubs. So we researched it. It's a Hoover, but it's a white Hoover. Wrong Hoover.
Right.
Right? And then another dude said, we provided safe passage for the kids to get to school. But then they say he sold heroin to their parents at the same time. So I'm asking, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I was just, you know, Harriet Tubman, you asked me, I asked the dude, I said, well, Martin Luther King, can you tell me a few things that we had? You know, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. He was a, you know, peace marcher, the desegregation, the voting, the I Have a Dream speech. I said, okay, cool. Can you tell me some things Mr. Hoover has done? Because I'm curious. I want to know.
Well, think about it. Like, Jay-Z gets treated like a hero, right? What's the basis of his whole story? He was a drug trafficker. He sold drugs.
Okay.
And then he made it out and became a rapper.
And then what else?
And then started Rock Nation and created a huge label and did a million different things with his life, for sure. But, I mean, the beginning part of his... Now, the difference with Larry Hoover is that the entire thing that he's famous for is being in the streets.
Bro,
and then being in prison for a very long time.
They gave him 200 years for a state case. So he's in there 73, 83, 93, 25 years or some shit. And then the feds come hit him with what he been doing in the state and give him 6 life sentences on top of that. So I don't think Jay-Z took Rock Nation money and brought 5,000 keys.
No.
I think he took Rock Nation money and did something else. I don't know.
And what would we all say if we found out that Jay-Z actually took his money from Rockefeller and invested in a bunch of keys? We would say,
we'd have to put him over there.
What a fucking idiot.
We would have to put him over there.
God, he could have been one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time, and he had to fuck it up because he's a dumbass.
I told him, when they asked me, I said, the people I mentioned, they got mad when I said Elijah Muhammad. It pissed them off. I don't know why. I told, but, at the end of the day, again, I'm the only one on those platforms defending Larry Hoover against 1090. But I told him, 1090 on a mission, if he come back with some paperwork that says something faulty, they said, well, Wack, what you gonna say then? Well, I'm gonna use my reading skills and call a spade a spade.
Yeah, if new information is presented, I will change my opinion.
That's it.
Right.
They said I shouldn't. I should just...
See, so many people have that. I think it's just because it's kind of unseemly to be hating on an old ass dude. Like, you just see that, it feels gross. Be like if you saw an 80-year-old man get knocked out by a 20-year-old, you'd think it looked horrible. And then you find out that the 80-year-old had, killed the 20-year-old's mom. Okay. But
then I'm going to shake his hand.
Yeah, exactly.